Hey guys, how's it going? First of all, I'm sorry there's been such a long delay since my last vlog. I've been working non-stop. I just did like a 12-day stretch at work, and I've had no time to even pick up a guitar or anything. But I do want to continue with these vlog things. I think they're pretty fun to do. So for this one, instead of focusing on following me around doing whatever, there's two topics I really want to touch on. And if you follow me on Facebook, you might have seen me ask this question. The two things I want to touch on today is, first of all, negative feedback, putting yourself out there online. And then the other one is how to optimize Facebook ads for a music page. So the first one I'm going to touch on is obviously the negative feedback. I am no stranger to negative feedback on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube especially. We're all aware of the ever-growing stupidity that is YouTube comments. People commenting on something they have no idea about, whatever, but it's fine. So it's something I feel like I have a lot of experience with, is putting up content and getting negative feedback. I feel like I've done very well with it. And there's usually two ways people go about approaching negative feedback. The first one is to just ignore it. And the second one, that's a lot more common, is to just go after the person. So it becomes this big fighting fire with fire thing. Now, I've never believed in that. I may have, a long time ago, done that once or twice here and there. But the way that I do it most of the time now has worked out really well, where it ends up being a positive interaction. And I'll just jump right into it. So I put this ad up a few weeks ago. We're going to focus on that ad afterwards when I talk about how to optimize ads on Facebook. So, and preface this guy made this comment, this whole chain of, or this whole thread happened, and then I contacted him afterwards and said, hey, I want to use this in a vlog explaining how to deal with negative feedback. I'm going to delete your comment because I don't want anyone to come after you after the fact and be a jerk, because that has happened before. So, posted that ad, guy posts up, sounds like shit. So the first thing I always do is be super sarcastic. So I said, thanks dude, happy you liked it. So then this other person chimes in, no shit, well, I'm going to paraphrase because their spelling was a bit off, but no shit, you're retarded. That don't know music. As a pretty decent guitarist myself, trust my opinion when I say it was good, and I love to play with you someday, sounded great. Okay. He also said, haven't you ever heard, if you don't like anything, or if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, D-bag. Okay. So then this guy comments back, haha, alright man, same to you, still sounds like shit. Most guitarists that are good never call themselves decent. They always say, nah, I'm not very good, just saying. I don't think I said anything saying that I was great, but regardless. So this is where it becomes divergent from what most people would do. I comment back, all good man. I know you can't please everyone. 290 people have reacted positively to the clip. One person who doesn't enjoy it doesn't bother me one bit. Pretty good ratio in my opinion. What don't you like about it? Anything constructive or just everything? Immediately the guy changes his tune to, I like you as a person for sure. Much respect for the way you took my asshole comment. I just noticed 3 or 5 missed notes and such as well. As it not being my preference, I usually don't comment like this. It just didn't hit my ears right. So totally understandable, man. And trust me, I've been putting out music online long enough to be used to negative comments, just trying to turn it into a positive thing. In my defense, I wrote the riff about 20 minutes before recording this, and know it was far from perfect. I also set up using prog metal and gent in the likes to target, so I expected negative feedback, which is totally true. Totally understand it's not your cup of tea. I'm not offended by your sounds like shit comment. Ends up with, wish you the best, man. Hope things go your way for sure. Thanks, dude. Same to you. So I feel like if a lot of people approach this, they would actually grow their fan base. If they approach negative feedback like this in a positive light, they would grow their fan base quite quickly. Because being negative never gets you anywhere. I can tell you that from experience. But I'm not going to get into life stories with Dean. But so that's what I would suggest to anyone, especially if you're new and you're starting to put out content. Don't take negative feedback to heart, because everyone's going to have something to say. And just try to turn it into something, try to flip it around. So think about it this way. I put this ad out there. I had specific topics targeted to go after people using the Facebook algorithm. And that means this guy likes something that I had put in my my target audience. So maybe there's something he didn't like about that I've never thought of that could click and make a new idea pop out, and then I can, get him. He tells his friends, oh, hey, check this guy out. So it just works from there. So just kind of keep an open mind when it comes to that. You're putting yourself out there. I mean, when you put out new original content, you're literally just opening up your heart, and you got to keep in mind that not everyone's going to like it. So now on to the less preachy thing. All right, so I'll try to make this quick, because I'm sure no one wants to just stare at me playing around on my computer. But here's my most recent ad that I put up, the one that whole argument was over. So right here, I'll show you. I spent $70, which is more than I usually spend. Usually I do $5 a day for 4 or 5 days. I did $10 a day for 7 days just to see what the difference would be. As you can see, I reached almost 12,000 people, and I gained 660 likes. Now this is the big thing, because like I was saying, when you first put up a Facebook ad, before you submit it, it tells you your estimated likes. And if I remember correctly, it was like something ridiculous, like 12 to 18 likes per day, where I ended up getting closer to 100 likes per day. Probably ended up being about 80 per day. And it's cool because when you go into it, it'll show you the highs and lows, and where people were interested from, all that stuff. So you go to show full summary. This tells me everything that I did. So I did a budget of $70, I said, so $10 for 7 days. And then here's everything that I put into it. Now, we'll go to edit promotion, and I'll explain why I did what I did. So first of all, and I am very adamant about this, when you do an ad, use a video. Don't use a picture, don't just use text, use a video, because it's going to catch people a lot quicker. If they're just scrolling by and there's a picture of a guitar, okay, I see pictures of guitars all day. I'll usually take a song that I'm working on, pick what I think is the most interesting riff, and record it, usually 20 to 40 seconds max. So this one was 36 seconds, perfect. Right around 30-second marks, great. I think they did a study not long ago, and I think it was on YouTube, like if they don't get caught in the first 30 seconds, they're going to X out of the video. Like most people's attention span just isn't that big when they're on social media. So 20, 30 seconds. I call this one Audience 1 English because I'm targeting mainly English-speaking countries. So I've got United States, Canada, UK, and Australia. Now, I garnered some of this information or garnered some of the information that I used towards this by doing really broad ads to see where I end up getting most of the influx of likes and interactions from. And I've discovered that it's mostly male-dominated, between 16 and 35. You can do whatever you want. I've gone from like whatever the minimum age is on this, 13 all the way to like 70. And this seems to be a target audience, so I figure I'll hit that one hardest. So doing only men, 16 to 35 years old, UK, Canada, United States, and Australia. And now here's where it gets interesting. Now, I've done it both ways, and this has worked the best for me. Pick just around 20, 25 interests to put up. Interests including, things, people, whatever. And make sure that none of them are too huge. I usually try to keep like 1 or 2 really big topics in there. So for this one, I put acoustic guitar, has 20 million people into it. All right, that's cool. But everything else is pretty low numbers. 367,000, 213,000, 347, 34,000, 211,000. So you keep it relatively targeted. So the hard part is not getting too broad. It's hard for me to like organize this in my head as I'm going. I should have planned this out better. But organize it so you're not going to a super broad audience. I've done other ads where I had probably 35, 40 different topics, but you got to consider you want to use the topics that are mostly going to be people that are attracted to your music. So I was putting in I had Premier Guitar Magazine, Guitar World Magazine, and you got to consider something like that. Let's see. How many people like Guitar World? So that's another 2 million people. But you got to consider it's taking those 2 million people that like Guitar World magazine and it's going to advertise to some of them. So unless you go and narrow the audience and add more things, which have done, has worked out well. But if you're just starting off and you're doing a basic ad you're running, you got to consider that, for example, me, I'm playing 8-string fingerstyle guitar. Who is going to be really into that kind of stuff? Obviously, people that are going to like Andy McKee will most likely enjoy it. Same thing with Animals as Leaders. It's 8-string. It's progressive-y sounding stuff. John Gomm, Mike Dawes, Sumerian Records is a iffy one, but I've gotten quite a few people through that as well. You got to consider all these have lower numbers, and if you put in something that's huge like Premier Guitar Magazine or Guitar World Magazine, they've got 2 million people they can market to. So it's going to be taking away from this smaller number of people that are probably more interested than just someone that likes a guitar magazine. So you got to kind of keep that in mind. So yeah, we'll go through just everything I've got. I've got acoustic guitar, Andy McKee, Animals as Leaders, Antoine Dufour, Candy Rat Records, Gent, which is always a fun one, Don Ross, 8-string guitar, Eric Mongrain, fingerstyle guitar, John Gomm, Khaki King, Michael Hedges, Mike Dawes, Ovation Guitar Company, Sumerian Records, Tommy Emmanuel, and Tosin Abasi. So that's just some stuff to consider when you're doing ads. Sorry I didn't make it more concise. I probably should have planned that out a lot better. But if you guys have any questions about it, please hit me up in the comments. Super happy to help with them. They're really not as tough as they seem. Once again, I did 4 or 5 times the amount of interactions and likes that Facebook predicted. So it's all just in how you streamline and really funnel out what and who you want to market to. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching this. Hopefully next vlog I'll have more musical stuff involved. Hopefully I also don't work the next 4,000 days in a row, so I have time to do stuff. But thank you guys very much. I will see you later. Have a great day.